It appears that the Patrick administration is very close to legalizing casino gambling in the state. With the assumption that this becomes reality, do you favor slot machines, a full-scale casino, or neither at Suffolk Downs? And if you're in favor, financial gains for the City of Boston and Commonwealth aside, what specifically would you do to ensure the neighborhood of East Boston receives its rightful share of mitigation funding and other considerations from Suffolk Downs, the City of Boston, or both?
Thank you. The question is somewhat inaccurate. The governor would make a recommendation. It would still have to go before a debate, be voted upon to legalize gambling before the House and the Senate at the state level. I am all for revitalizing our thoroughbred industry and for keeping Suffolk Downs alive. However, not at the expense of our residents in East Boston. I have heard by going to house parties right along Waldemar Ave, and for the record, the racetrack has an address, 111 Waldemar Ave. And the people at those house parties and the people of East Boston have told me their concerns. And I have not yet seen a definitive plan about traffic mitigation, job creation targeted for East Boston, revenue for East Boston, infrastructure improvements. So until I see something in place, a plan in place that I can say, I could never support something like that. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that there are other alternatives. However, with what we've seen right now, my main concern is hopefully your next state legislature would be the needs of East Boston and the families that live there. Thank you.
I was fortunate enough to be able to take a tour of Suffolk Downs with Louis Charlone, the business manager of the union at Suffolk Downs last week. And of course, Suffolk Downs is in need of revitalization. I saw it firsthand. But whatever we do in Suffolk Downs, in the mitigation process, we need to make sure that from the beginning to the end, it has to be jobs, good paying jobs, living wage paying jobs, competitive wages with benefits, and make sure that these jobs are going to come to the families and residents of East Boston. And make sure that whatever is planned for Suffolk Downs in the long term is we're the ones that are going to live here. We need to make sure we take a look at all of the implications, all of our options, because at the end of the day, it's East Boston residents that are going to have to live whatever is developed in Suffolk Downs.
First of all, let me say that as far as Suffolk Downs and bringing a full-scale casino, the residents of East Boston will make that decision and nobody else. As far as mitigation, a few years back, there was a plan called the Boardman Flyover. And as part of that mitigation that we get from Suffolk Downs, if there were to be a casino, is to have those lights illuminated. Everybody's driven on Boardman Street. We can know the traffic there. So part of that, we did have Suffolk Downs, if they have a casino, is pay for that because the state refused to do it. I'm for the concept of it, but we have to find out at what cost. What are we going to get as residents of East Boston? Are we going to have to share with everybody else in the city of Boston? So, I mean, this is something that is not going to happen tomorrow. It has to be an exhaustive research. So until then, we'll just sit and wait and see what happens.
I have always supported bringing slot machines to the state's racetracks because both forms of gambling would work well in tandem. I am also a proponent of casino gambling, and I think its time has come for Massachusetts. It makes no fiscal sense to see casino-derived revenue siphoned off to Connecticut. If all the infrastructure concerns could be answered and the residents of East Boston and Revere decide they will accept the casino, then I say build it, but not in a rash manner, but with due consideration for the host communities. Any taxes paid by the casino to Massachusetts must first be used to provide direct property tax relief in East Boston and Revere, not Jamaica Plain, not Hyde Park, not Framingham, not Swanston, because given to us before the money goes to the general budget of the state.